pay respect to our professor in this subject, EM614, Practicum in Education Management, Dr. Carmelino P. Bernadas. Sir, and to everyone in this virtual room, a pleasant morning. I am Joyce Entero Macabacquiao, your discussant for today. My topic is the continuation of Ma'am Maria Laika T. Villacastin and Ma'am Jemima Jane T. Tombis about the methods of curriculum analysis, which are the contextual analysis and comparative analysis, the remaining two methods of curriculum analysis. Contextual analysis. This method considers the broader context in which the curriculum is implemented, including the characteristics of the learners, the available resources, and the cultural or social factors. It examines whether the curriculum takes into account the needs, interests, and backgrounds of the learners, and whether it is adaptable to different educational settings. Contextual analysis in Philippine education, it refers to the process of examining and understanding the educational system, the policies, practices, and curriculum within the specific context of the Philippines. It involves considering various factors such as cultural, social, economic, historical, and political influences that shape and impact education in the country. In the Philippine context, education is highly valued and considered a fundamental right for all citizens. The Department of Education, or the DepEd, is the main government agency responsible for formulating and implementing educational policies and programs. Contextual analysis helps to understand how these policies are developed and how they affect different stakeholders in the education system. One aspect of contextual analysis in Philippine education is understanding the cultural diversity of the country. The Philippines is composed of various ethnic groups with distinct languages, traditions, and beliefs. Recognizing and respecting this diversity is essential in designing an inclusive curriculum that caters to the needs and aspirations of all learners. Another important consideration in contextual analysis is the socio-economic conditions prevailing in the country. Poverty remains a significant challenge in many areas, affecting access to quality education. Understanding the socio-economic context helps policymakers identify strategies to address issues such as school dropouts, inadequate infrastructure, lack of resources, and teacher shortages. Historical factors also play a crucial role in contextual analysis. The Philippines has a complex history influenced by colonization, which has left lasting impacts on its educational system. Historical analysis helps uncover how past events have shaped current educational practices and policies. Political factors are also significant in contextual analysis. Changes in government leadership can lead to shift in educational priorities and policies. Understanding the political landscape allows for a deeper understanding of how decisions are made and implemented within the education sector. Contextual analysis also considers global trends and best practices in education. With advancement in technology and globalization, it is essential for the Philippine education to adapt to these changes while preserving its unique cultural identity. In conclusion, contextual analysis in Philippine education involves examining various factors such as cultural diversity, socio-economic conditions, historical influences, political dynamics, and global trends. By understanding these contextual elements, policymakers and educators can develop more effective strategies to improve the quality and accessibility of education in the Philippines. Now let's move to comparative analysis. So what is comparative analysis? This method compares the curriculum with other existing curricula or best practices to identify areas of improvement or innovation. It involves examining similar curricula from different schools or districts, conducting literature reviews, or researching successful educational programs to gain insights and ideas for enhancing the curriculum. Comparative analysis in Philippine education refers to the process of examining and evaluating educational systems, policies, practices, and outcomes in the Philippines in relation to those of other countries. It involves studying and comparing various aspects of education, such as curriculum, teaching methods, assessment systems, educational resources, and student performance, among others. The purpose of comparative analysis in Philippine education is to gain insights into the strengths and weaknesses of the country's educational system by benchmarking it against international standards and best practices. It allows policymakers, educators, researchers, and other stakeholders to identify areas for improvement and implement evidence-based reforms. One area of comparative analysis in Philippine education is the curriculum development. By comparing the curriculum frameworks and content of the Philippines with those of other countries, educators can identify gaps or areas where improvements can be made. This analysis can help ensure that the curriculum is aligned with global trends and prepare students for the demands of the 21st century. This is where the K-12 curriculum comes in. Another aspect of comparative analysis is teaching methods and pedagogical approaches. By examining how teachers in different countries deliver instruction and engage in learning, educators in the Philippines can learn from successful practices elsewhere. This analysis can lead to the adoption of innovative teaching strategies that promote active learning, critical thinking, creativity, and problem-solving skills. Assessment systems are also subject to comparative analysis. How? By comparing assessment practices in the Philippines with those of high-performing countries, policymakers can identify effective strategies for measuring student learning outcomes. This analysis can inform the development of reliable and valid assessment tools that provide accurate information about student achievement. Next, educational resources are another area that undergoes comparative analysis. How? By comparing the availability and quality of textbooks, learning materials, technology infrastructure, and other resources in the Philippines with those in other countries, policymakers can address resource gaps and ensure equitable access to quality education for all students. Comparative analysis in Philippine education also extends to student performance. In what way? By comparing the academic achievement of Filipino students with their counterparts in other countries through international assessments such as the Program for International Student Assessment or what we call PISA, and trends in international mathematics and science study or the TIMSS, policymakers can identify areas where the Philippines needs to improve and learn from successful education systems. Let us always remember that in conducting comparative analysis, it is important to consider the cultural, the social, the economic, and political context of the Philippines. Same also with the contextual analysis. Education systems are shaped by various factors unique to each country, and blindly adopting practices from other countries may not always be effective. Comparative analysis should be done with a critical lens, taking into account the specific needs and challenges of the Philippine education system. Overall, comparative analysis in Philippine education plays a crucial role in informing evidence-based decision-making, policy formulation, and educational reforms. By learning from successful practices in other countries and benchmarking against international standards, the Philippines can strive towards providing quality education that prepares students for a globally competitive future. And that's the end of my report. I hope you have learned something. Once again, I am Joy Sintero Macabacquiao. Thank you for listening. Have a great day!